Hi, I'm Jane from Poppy Patchwork, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make the Jack-in-the-Box quilt block. I've drawn the block out in my Quilt Block notebook, and I've written out all the measurements. In this book you will get lots of blank pages, and I find it really useful for calculating the size of my pieces for the block. The odd and even Quilt Block notebooks are available to buy from Amazon. Scan the QR code to visit Amazon. I've just released my new book, The Quilter's Quick Reference Guide, with your favourite cutting charts and step-by-step instructions. The cutting charts include half square triangles, quarter square triangles, split square triangles, flying geese, corner squares, economy squares, half rectangle triangles and cat's cradle. Plus step-by-step instructions for making and trimming your units. Buy your copy today. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description. Now, let's get quilting. So for this block, we're going to start by making the half square triangles. So I'm going to put fabrics from D and E to one side. And we're going to need 4 from fabric A. So I'm going to begin by drawing a diagonal line on the wrong side of the lighter coloured fabrics, which in this case is fabric A. And now I'm going to pin them right sides together with fabric C and D. So I'm going to take these to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on either side of that drawn line. I'm now going to remove the pins and then cut through the drawn line. I'm now going to trim these half square triangles, and my preferred method of trimming half square triangles is to use the 6.5 inch triangle square up ruler by Quilt in a Day. Now you'll need to trim your half square triangles using your preferred method, and if you want to right mouse click on the link above, it will take you to my video on how to trim half square triangles with a standard ruler. now going to set and press these seams. And I'm going to press these to the darker fabric. So I'm going to clip the dog ears off and then set them to one side. Now we're going to make the flying geese using the 4 at a time method, and for this we're going to need fabric B and the other 4 fabrics in fabric A. And again I'm going to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of the fabric A's. And then I'm going to place 2 of these in opposite corners, right sides together with that larger square. And the diagonal line should now run from corner to corner. So I'm going to pin that in place, and when I take it over to the sewing machine, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of the drawn line. I'm now going to remove the pins, and then I'm going to cut along the drawn line. And now we're going to set and press the seams. And we're going to press the seams towards the small triangles. So now we're going to place the other square in the remaining corner, and this time the diagonal line is going to run from this corner and through the stitched line. So once again I'm going to take that back to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of the drawn line. I'm now going to remove the pins and then cut along the drawn line. And now I'm going to press and set the seams. And again I'm going to press towards the smaller triangle. And now I'm going to trim the flying geese. I like to use the Ultimate Flying Geese tool designed by Deb Heatherly for Creative Grids for trimming my flying geese. You'll need to trim them using your preferred method. And if you want to right mouse click on the link above, it will take you to my video on how to trim flying geese with a standard ruler. So I'm going to set these to one side, and before we move into block layout, I realised that I've forgotten to cut 4 pieces from my purple fabric, so I'm just going to do that. So now I'm going to lay everything out in block layout. So the first thing I'm going to do is join these half square triangles to each other. So I'm going to take those to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm now going to set the seams. So I'm going to set the seams and then press them towards the darker fabrics. And now I'm going to return back into block layout. And now I'm going to sew the half square triangles onto the flying geese. Now one side of these, the seams are going to nest, but on the other side they're not. So I'm just going to flip one of the seams so that they will nest. So I'm going to take those back over to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm now going to set and press the seams. So I'm going to press them towards the half square triangle piece. And now we're going to put them back into block layout. And now we're going to join these together in a 9 patch. So I'm going to join these top pieces together in pairs. And when I sew this together, I will sew with this side showing up so I can see where the points are. So I'm going to take these to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. So I've returned these to block layout, and before I pin the bottom pieces onto the columns, I'm going to press these top pieces, and I'm going to press towards the long strips. And by pressing towards the long strips, it means that those seams are going to be in opposite directions, which will help with the nesting. So now I'm going to pin these bottom pieces onto the columns. And when we pin these, it's really important that this seam line matches up with the seam line here, so that they all run together in line. So I'm going to take that over to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. And again, I'm going to set and press the seams towards the long strips. So we're going to place everything back in the block layout. So to finish the block, I'm going to sew this column to the centerpiece and then this column to the centerpiece. And as we press the seams in opposite directions, they're going to nest here in the center. And again, when I take it to the sewing machine, I'm going to sew this way up so I can see the points here and here. So I'm going to take that back over to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. So before pinning this final piece on, I've pressed the seams towards this center strip. So I'm going to take that back to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. So I've given the block a good press. So congratulations, you have made the Jack-in-the-Box quilt block. I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and thank you very much for all your support by downloading my patterns and buying my books. Bye for now and happy quilting!